Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm actually on lunch break right now, and I just wanted to get back to one of my subscribers that actually asked me a question this morning. It's about preparing for winter driving. So the best thing I can tell you is to make yourself a checklist, and with that checklist, write down the most important things that you have to check in the morning on your pre-trip in the morning before you leave the yard. So my advice to you is make a checklist. On that checklist, I would actually go in the morning, start my truck, let it warm up. Don't rev it up. It's not good for the engine. Let it warm up. Turn on all your lights, turn on your four ways. Make sure everything is working, turn signals, your four ways, your backup lights, your tail lights, marker lights. Just take a quick walk around the truck while the truck is warming up. And after you do that, check your high beams, make sure both of those are working. And also, as you're walking around, check the battery cover. Check everything, kick your tires, make sure your tires are good, make sure your tires are not bald. And like I said all the time, if anything is wrong and there's an issue, write it up in your DVR, write it up and tell the mechanic. But most importantly, make yourself a checklist. Like I said, the lights are very important. Brakes, check your brakes, they're important. While you're sitting in the truck doing your paperwork, look at the battery gauge. Make sure the battery gauge is up around number 14. That's where it's supposed to be if it's properly charging, okay? Make sure you have your red triangles. Make sure you have your reflectors. God forbid you break down and you need to put them out. And this way you have a better chance of people seeing you coming around a bend or on the straightaway, whatever. Fire extinguisher is very important. Make sure you have heat in your truck. Always check the heat. This time of year, it's very important. If there's a problem with the heat, it's not blowing right, maybe there's something wrong with the blower. Maybe there's something wrong externally. Maybe there's a blown fuse. You know, it could be anything. It could be anything that's wrong with the truck. It could be anything, any kind of problem. But basically, check your heat, check your four ways, check your lights, check your tires, check the battery box cover, check your mirrors, check everything that your mirrors are not cracked. It's very important to check that. Also, at the end of each day on your post-trip inspection, do yourself a favor and check the antifreeze, check the overflow tank, which on my truck, it's right here. Check the overflow for the antifreeze. Just, you know, let it cool down. Make sure it's cool before you open it, because if it becomes very hot, just check it out. Look down in there. Rule of thumb is you put your finger in. If you don't feel water, then you need to add some antifreeze, okay? Also, it's a good habit to get into to check your oil. Not every day, every second day. And make sure that the level is good. If it's not good, you don't know where the oil is, just go to your mechanic and tell them, say, listen, my oil is low, could you top it off for me? Another rule of thumb is in the morning when you're doing your walk around your truck, doing your pre-trip, what I like to do is just take a quick glance underneath the front bumper, just to look under there to make sure there's nothing dripping, nothing leaked overnight, that, you know, the radiator or a hose might have a leak and it's dripping on the ground, because you don't want that to get worse. Because what happens is, in the wintertime, like on a day like today, for instance, okay, it's 63 degrees. Now tonight, it's going to go down into the 30s. So from the hot, cold, you have expansion going on with your hoses. And what happens is, now the clamps start to get loose, and there's no pressure really to hold it on, so everything starts to leak. So it's good to walk around, look underneath the truck, make sure you don't see any leaks, and if you do, again, write it down in your DVR and tell the mechanic. Another good habit also on your post-trip, get into the habit of draining your air tanks. On every truck you should have maybe these pull cords like I do. Okay, drain the tanks. I have 2 tanks underneath my truck that I need to drain at the end of each set. Okay, it's another good habit to get into, to start doing that. And also on your fuel tanks, please keep your fuel tanks topped up, keep them full, because there's less chance of condensation building up on your fuel tank, less chance of the lines freezing. We do the best we can in the wintertime to keep on our trucks, to make sure everything is working right, nothing is leaking, because I'll be honest with you, in my opinion, the wintertime is worse than the summertime. The wintertime, it's cold, everything is running hot, then you park the truck, you go home, now it's cold again, now it's got to get hot again. So it becomes an issue, especially with hoses and clamps that they open and close, they get loose, they get tight. So it's something to keep an eye on. Always keep an eye on your dashboard. Any lights that come on, might be a low antifreeze warning buzzer that comes on. You know, just make sure that you keep an eye on things, that anything you see at all, tell your mechanic, I have an issue, I have a light on the dashboard. He'll probably put the computer on it, and also you know, he'll identify what the problem is and take care of it. Earlier today I talked about lockout, tagout. You see this key right here, this keyhole? This keyhole is for my key that goes in ignition. So when a mechanic's going to work on your truck, what he can do is take my ignition key and lock this. So now nobody can get in the truck and start the truck at all, okay? It's a safety. It's for safety. So when I'm in the body right here, cleaning out the crap, out the chute, you know, nobody can get in my truck and start my truck. God forbid something happens like that. You're safe, your keys in your pocket. Nobody knows where it is except you. Also, you need to check your fire extinguishers. Make sure that they are in the green. Mine has a tag on it that it was already inspected this year. Tires are very important, guys. Tires are very important, especially new tires, old tires. You got to check the tire pressure, because if they're not, if one tire's got 90 pounds and the other one's got 120, they're going to wear unevenly. Okay, you need to check it at least every second day. It's not that hard. It only takes about 5-10 minutes. Oh, here are my new tires, by the way. I wanted to show you. A lot of tread, good tires, good years. But it's a good habit. It only takes 5-10 minutes to check the tires. Doesn't take that long at all. I actually bought a knee pad at the dollar store. So when I got to check the tires, I kneel on the knee pad. It makes it a lot easier for us older guys. And I hope that answers your question, because there's a lot of procedures to do in the morning. People don't realize how much you do before you even set out on your route. You know, there's a lot of checking, a lot of paperwork, a lot of looking around. And yeah, another good thing is also make sure you have a good flashlight. Very important. I have a good LED flashlight that I keep with me in the truck at all times. God forbid, you know, I break down or something, or I have an issue, that I can take a picture of the issue and send it back to the mechanic, so he has an idea where the problem is and what I'm talking about. I've been around trucks a long time, pretty much all my life, as you guys know. So if there is an issue or something wrong, I could probably identify it. But maybe for a new guy, you know, maybe he could look, see where the drip or the leak is coming from, maybe take a picture and send it back to dispatch so they could show the mechanic before he comes out. Stuff like that saves a lot of time. It helps the mechanic identify the problem. So when he comes out on the road call, he's not going back to the garage saying, oh, I need this, I need that, okay? Another thing is, if your truck has a storage box like mine does on the back, I always carry extra antifreeze. I always carry extra windshield washer fluid, because you never know. You never know. That buzzer might come on the truck. It's very easy, you know, at a stop to find maybe a pallet or something to step on, add some antifreeze, solve the problem. Instead of waiting for the mechanic to come out to take care of the issue, you can do it yourself and be on your way. Another thing I forgot to tell you is windshield wipers. Check the rubber on your wipers. Make sure they're cleaning the windows good, because in the wintertime with the salt on the roads and everything like that, you really need to keep up on your windows, keep them clean, and just check your wiper blades, make sure they're good. Always, like I said, carry extra windshield washer fluid. We have a whole 55-gallon in the garage. When I'm out, I go in, I fill it up, I keep it in the truck, so when I need it, I top off the reservoir. So basically, I hope that answered your question. I like you guys when you ask questions, because it gives me something to talk about, and I could help you guys out, give you an idea of what I do. This way you might be able to go about doing the things the same way I do it, or do it your own way. But I'm glad you guys are asking questions. That's nice to see. You know, you guys, you know, I've been around a while. You know, I've been doing this all my life, and I've driven a lot of trucks, Freightliners, Volvos, Peterbilts, Max. You know, I've been around them all, different engines, Detroits, Cats, everything, man. So I appreciate the question, buddy. If you have any more, keep them coming. I'll do the best I can to answer your questions, or anybody's questions for that matter. And I'm pretty much done for today. I have maybe 5 more stops left to do. I'm just taking advantage of the nice weather right now, walking around the truck. I think later on today when I get back, I'll wash the truck, because it's looking a little bit grimy. And I had one subscriber saying that it made me laugh, and it actually made me feel good, that he said he sees a lot of